What I'm about to explain today surprises many people the first time they hear it, because one of the hardest working organs in the human body can become severely stressed, long before pain ever appears: the liver. And after 60, the warning signs are often so subtle that people dismiss them for months, sometimes years. A strange itching sensation that will not go away, swelling in the belly, loss of appetite, exhaustion that feels deeper than normal tiredness, yellowing skin, dark urine, easy bruising, feeling unusually full after small meals, changes in the skin people never connect to the liver at all. And honestly, one of the biggest dangers is that liver disease often develops quietly, very quietly. Many adults assume liver problems only happen to heavy drinkers. But modern medicine now sees liver stress connected to obesity, diabetes, inflammation, medications, fatty liver disease, metabolic dysfunction, viral infections, poor sleep, chronic alcohol exposure, and even years of silent dietary damage slowly building underneath the surface. And because the liver is incredibly resilient, it can compensate for damage for a very long time before symptoms finally become noticeable. That is why awareness matters so much. My name is Dr. Adam Scott Levin, and for more than 15 years, I've worked with adults dealing with metabolic disease, inflammation, fatty liver disease, digestive dysfunction, medication-related liver stress, aging-related health changes, and the subtle patterns the body often shows before major illness fully develops. And today, I want to walk you through something incredibly important: the strange signs your liver may be under stress after 60, why these symptoms are often overlooked, which warning signs deserve more attention, and why liver health has become one of the biggest hidden issues modern medicine is quietly concerned about. Because once you understand what the liver actually does for the body every single day, you realize how deeply connected it is to energy, digestion, hormones, metabolism, circulation, and long-term survival itself. Before we go further, I want to ask you something. Have you noticed any strange body changes after 50 or 60 that felt difficult to explain? Unusual fatigue, itching, swelling, digestive changes, loss of appetite, or skin changes that seemed off? Drop your age and experience in the comments below, because honestly, many people realize through conversations like these that they ignored symptoms for far longer than they should have. Now here's where things become very interesting. Most people think the liver is only involved with alcohol, but biologically, the liver is one of the busiest organs in the entire body. It filters toxins, processes medications, helps regulate blood sugar, supports digestion through bile production, processes fats, stores nutrients, helps regulate hormones, supports immune function, produces proteins involved in blood clotting, supports cholesterol metabolism, and constantly helps clean the bloodstream. The liver is working every second of every day, whether you think about it or not. And when the liver becomes overwhelmed, stressed, inflamed, or damaged, symptoms often appear in places people would never expect. Let's start with one of the strangest and most commonly overlooked symptoms: itching. Not a rash, not dry skin necessarily, just persistent, unexplained itching, especially at night, especially on the arms, legs, hands, or feet. Many adults assume it is aging skin or allergies. But in some liver conditions, bile flow becomes impaired. Substances that are normally processed and cleared can begin accumulating in the body, contributing to severe itching sensations. And what makes this symptom so confusing is that the skin may look almost normal at first. I remember one woman in her late 60s who kept changing soaps, laundry detergents, lotions, and allergy medications because she could not understand why she was itching constantly at night. Eventually, blood work revealed abnormal liver enzymes and bile duct dysfunction, and honestly, this is exactly why doctors pay attention to patterns rather than isolated symptoms. The body leaves clues. Now, here's something even more surprising. Fatigue is one of the most common symptoms of liver stress, but not normal tiredness. Many people describe it as a heavy, draining exhaustion that feels difficult to explain. The kind of fatigue where motivation disappears, simple tasks feel harder, energy feels flat. And because fatigue is connected to almost every health condition imaginable, people rarely think about the liver first. But liver dysfunction affects inflammation, metabolism, nutrient processing, hormone balance, sleep quality, and toxin clearance. And over time, the body simply feels less efficient. I remember one patient who kept saying, "I feel like my body battery never fully recharges anymore." That sentence stayed with me because honestly, many adults with metabolic and liver dysfunction describe fatigue in almost identical ways. Not dramatic, not sudden, just persistent depletion. Now here's where modern medicine has become deeply concerned: fatty liver disease. Because this condition has exploded over the past several decades, and many people have absolutely no idea they have it. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, now increasingly called metabolic dysfunction-associated steatotic liver disease, occurs when excess fat accumulates inside liver cells. And it is strongly connected to obesity, insulin resistance, diabetes, high triglycerides, poor diet quality, sleep problems, chronic inflammation, and sedentary lifestyles. The frightening part? Many people feel completely normal for years, sometimes decades. That silence is exactly what makes liver disease dangerous. I remember one man in his early 70s who came in for unrelated blood work and was shocked when imaging later revealed significant fatty liver changes. He kept saying, "But I don't even drink much." And honestly, that misunderstanding is incredibly common. People still associate liver disease only with alcohol. But metabolic disease is now one of the biggest drivers of chronic liver problems in modern society. Now, let's talk about swelling, because fluid retention can become one of the more visible signs that liver function is becoming impaired. Some adults notice swelling in the ankles, others notice bloating. But one of the biggest warning signs doctors pay attention to is increasing abdominal swelling, especially when the belly begins feeling tight, firm, or unusually enlarged. In more advanced liver disease, fluid can accumulate in the abdomen, called ascites. Now, to be clear, abdominal swelling can happen for many reasons: digestive issues, weight gain, constipation, hormonal changes. But persistent, unexplained swelling deserves medical attention, especially when paired with fatigue, appetite loss, jaundice, or changes in urination. I remember one patient who thought he was simply gaining retirement weight. But over time, his abdomen became increasingly distended while the rest of his body actually became thinner. That imbalance mattered enormously. And honestly, the liver often reveals itself through subtle body composition changes long before people realize what is happening internally. Now here's another symptom people frequently overlook: loss of appetite, especially after 60. People assume reduced appetite is simply aging. And yes, appetite often changes somewhat with age. But persistent appetite loss, nausea, early fullness, or unintentional weight loss deserve more attention. because liver dysfunction affects digestion, inflammation, metabolism, and bile production. Some people begin feeling full after eating very small amounts. Others lose interest in food entirely, and over time, nutritional deficiencies begin worsening the body's resilience even further. Now, here's where things become more visually noticeable sometimes. Skin color changes. Most people know severe liver disease can cause jaundice, yellowing of the skin or eyes, but many adults never realize how subtle this can begin initially. Slight yellowing in the whites of the eyes, a darker skin tone appearance, dark urine, paler stools, or changes that family members notice before the patient does. And honestly, one reason jaundice matters so much medically is because bilirubin processing involves the liver directly. When bilirubin begins building up, the body starts showing visible clues externally. Now I want to pause for a second and make something very important clear. Not every symptom we're discussing means severe liver disease. Far from it. Most itching is not liver failure. Most fatigue is not cirrhosis. Most bloating is not advanced disease. But persistent, unexplained patterns deserve calm awareness rather than automatic dismissal. That balance matters enormously. Now let's talk briefly about alcohol. Because this conversation has to be honest, alcohol affects the liver directly. And after 60, the body becomes more vulnerable to alcohol-related damage for several reasons. Muscle mass changes, water composition changes, medication interactions increase, recovery capacity changes. And many adults underestimate how much regular drinking can slowly affect inflammation, sleep quality, blood pressure, metabolism, and liver stress over time. Now, this does not mean every person who drinks socially will develop liver disease. Absolutely not. But chronic excessive alcohol exposure remains one of the major contributors to liver injury worldwide. And honestly, many adults do not realize the liver often adapts silently for years before symptoms finally appear. Now, here's something modern medicine is increasingly concerned about: medication-related liver stress. Because after 60, many adults take multiple medications daily: pain medications, cholesterol medications, sleep medications, supplements, herbal products, anti-inflammatory medications, and the liver processes nearly all of them. Now, most medications are safe when used properly under medical supervision, but combinations matter, dosage matters, alcohol interactions matter, underlying liver health matters. This is why doctors become cautious when unexplained fatigue, digestive symptoms, abnormal liver tests, or jaundice appear after medication changes. And honestly, one of the biggest misconceptions people have is believing natural supplements are automatically harmless. Some supplements can significantly stress the liver. That's why transparency with healthcare providers matters so much. Now, let's talk about another strange sign people rarely connect to liver health: easy bruising. The liver helps produce proteins involved in clotting, and when liver function becomes impaired, bruising and bleeding can become more noticeable. Some adults notice bruises appearing more easily than before. Others notice prolonged bleeding after small cuts. Again, not every bruise means liver disease. Aging skin bruises more easily naturally. Blood thinners matter. Medication effects matter, but patterns matter too. Now here's another symptom doctors quietly pay attention to: mental fogginess, difficulty concentrating, memory changes, confusion, slowed thinking. In more advanced liver dysfunction, toxins normally filtered by the liver can begin affecting brain function. This is called hepatic encephalopathy in severe cases. Now, most adults experiencing occasional brain fog do not have advanced liver disease. Stress, sleep deprivation, medications, anxiety, inflammation, depression, thyroid issues, dehydration, and many other conditions can affect cognition. But severe liver dysfunction can absolutely affect the brain. And honestly, this highlights one of the most important truths in medicine. The body is deeply interconnected. The liver affects far more than digestion. Now let's discuss something many adults never hear enough about: the liver's relationship with inflammation. Because chronic inflammation sits underneath many modern diseases simultaneously: obesity, diabetes, poor sleep, cardiovascular disease, sedentary behavior, processed diets, insulin resistance. All of these contribute to inflammatory stress on the liver over time, and the liver itself becomes inflamed in response. This is one reason liver disease often overlaps with metabolic syndrome. High blood pressure, high triglycerides, abdominal weight gain, blood sugar dysfunction, and honestly, modern lifestyles have created metabolic stress patterns the human body was never really designed to handle continuously. Now here's something hopeful: the liver is remarkably resilient, incredibly resilient, especially in earlier stages of disease. Lifestyle changes can meaningfully improve liver health for many people. Weight reduction when appropriate, better blood sugar control, reducing alcohol exposure, improved sleep, movement, Mediterranean-style nutrition patterns, managing inflammation, treating hepatitis infections, reviewing medications carefully with healthcare providers. These changes matter biologically. And one of the biggest hidden truths in medicine is that the body often responds powerfully to consistent daily habits repeated over time. Not perfection, consistency. Now I want to talk briefly about fear, because many adults become terrified once they hear the words liver disease. And honestly, fear alone is not helpful. Awareness helps. Early evaluation helps. Ignoring symptoms out of fear does not help. The healthiest people are usually not the ones obsessively panicking over every symptom. And they are also not the people dismissing symptoms completely. They are the people willing to look honestly at patterns without denial. That balance matters enormously. I remember one patient who told me something I've never forgotten after finally addressing long-standing metabolic and liver issues. He said, "Looking back, my body was warning me quietly for years. I just didn't know how to listen." And honestly, doctors hear versions of that sentence constantly. The body whispers long before it screams, especially the liver, because liver disease is often silent until it isn't. So here's the final takeaway I truly want you to remember. If you notice persistent itching, unusual fatigue, abdominal swelling, skin color changes, dark urine, loss of appetite, easy bruising, or unexplained digestive changes after 60, don't panic. Most symptoms still turn out to have manageable explanations. But don't endlessly rationalize persistent body changes away either. Pay attention calmly. Look at the full picture: your alcohol intake, your medications, your blood sugar, your weight, your inflammation, your sleep, your energy levels, your digestion. Because sometimes the body is simply under temporary stress. And sometimes the liver is quietly asking for help long before serious damage fully develops. The key is learning how to listen without fear, but also without denial. And honestly, that balance may protect more lives than people realize.